Welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of Zero Hedge. Let's get into it. Italian Institute of Health drastically reduces its official C words, the C word that's going around, death toll number. It says here, this is dated today, the Italian Higher Institute of Health has drastically reduced the country's official C word death toll number by over 97%. You heard that right, 97%. After changing the definition of a fatality to someone who died from the C word rather than somebody with the C word. Ooh, this is something that a ton of people got a lot of heat for, myself included. And how the masses of people were fooled into thinking that everybody who got the C word died from that, and there wasn't anything else pre-existing, comorbidities, lung issues, two or more comorbidities. Goodness gracious. Those were not on the table, and those were not the reason why. It was only because of the C word that had happened, and if you got it, and then they used that to spark this political divide and division, and then sowing discourse, sowing that miss in that word, finish it into society. Oh my gosh, this is huge. We're gonna continue. Says here, Italian newspaper Two Tempo reports that the Institute has revised downward the number of people who have died from the C word rather than with the C word from 130,000 to just under 4,000. That is bonkers. Yes, you read that right. Turns out 97.1% of the deaths hereto attributed to the C word were not due directly to the C word. Of the 130,468 deaths registered as official C word deaths since the start of the blank emic, only 3,783 are directly attributable to the V word alone. Now, this doesn't undermine or disvalue or become disingenuous to the 3,783 people that died. That's not it. What it is, and that's what people are going to hear. They're going to hear me say that, and they're going to go, oh, so you don't care about that? And then somehow the number of, well, when is it going to be enough for you? And it was like, well, when it's not 130,000, when is it not going to, I would flip the question back and go, when is it going to be enough for you to believe that you've been lied to? That things have been falsified, and eyes have been turned, and backs have been turned, and processes and science and logic has been all thrown out the door at this point for over a year and a half now, year and 11 months. To say that, and then to inoculate people, right? To put something inside of them. Because if I believe that, and I believe that there was 500,000 or 1 million people that were just like that, just from this alone, and then that's how it was across the board, and there wasn't any red flags, I promise you that there would be people who would not, like me, disagree and say, hey man, maybe we need to get this. Why? Because the numbers are staggering, and it's not because of any comorbidities or anything like that. It's specifically because this thing is going haywire, and it is that deadly. The issue is when you have 97% of something that's been falsified, you tell me the best answer. You tell me the logic. You tell me and all the things that you can continue to overlook. You tell me what I should be thinking. I'll leave that one up to you. All other Italians who lost their lives had been between 1 and 5 pre-existing diseases. One of those, aged over 67, who died. 7% had more than 3 comorbidities, 18 at least 2. According to the Institute, 65.8% of Italians who had died after being inhabited with the C word were ill with arterial hypertension, high blood pressure, 23.5% dementia, 29.3% diabetes, 24.8% arterial fibrillation. Add to that, 17.4% had lung problems, 16.3% had cancer in the last 5 years, and 15.7% suffered from previous heart failures. The Institute's new definition, let me hit that, the Institute's new definition, of a C word death means that C word has killed fewer people in Italy, and then it says in quotes, not quotes here, excuse me, in brackets, it says whisper it, because this is what it's about to say. I'm gonna read that one more time. The Institute's new definition of the C word death means that the C word has killed fewer people in Italy than the average bout of a seasonal flu. That is, you just can't make this up, man. I mean, when I read this earlier and I was floored, and I knew I had to talk about it. I knew I had to, because it was like, as time goes on, as we continue to, and what people said in the early stages, it is literally flushing its way out to be like, what you were told here was a bunch of BS, was a bunch of just garbage. And I'm not trying to demean people, undervalue people, or call you for lack of intelligence by any means. I understand that people are going to hear something and adjust something a different way. But the issue I have here is that when it was clearly that it was one-sided and everybody who did not go with that narrative was dumb, stupid, even people who were white lab jackets, right? And I call them, what is it? The white suits, right? Or those white long jackets, right? They're doctors, right? They're doctors, they're nurses, they're whomever, right? But they're doctors in a field, right? Who have and wear these white coats, who were being told they were losing their job, they were losing their licenses, they weren't allowed to perform medicine, and all the information that came out went against the narrative. And it was like, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, X, Y, and Z, you name it, every derogatory name under the book. Something wrong here. I don't have to be a rocket scientist or a doctor, a cardiologist, or whatever. I don't have to be any of those to read between the lines and go, something seems wrong. It says here, it's a similar change were made by other national governments. The official C word death toll would be cut by a margin of greater than 90%. Don't expect many others to follow suit, given that the governments have invested so much of their authority in hyping the threat posed by the V word, the iris, right? Because they've backed it so much now it's they're so much pride involved, so much arrogance, so much authority has been given because of this thing that they lied about. And now and the numbers and all of it, it's just it shows itself. But there's probably so many people who are involved that are like, I just don't know. You're pushing the boundary. Like, it goes further and further. And when does it stop for you? Like, when does it become like, I can't do this? And this is the whole argument for people who are screaming at the top of their lungs like me, like, hey, you think this is worth losing, but over here, you're not ready to lose this, but you're ready to lose everything coming up to that. But once you lose this, we have already lost so much. They're not going to give that back. And now this is going to be taken away from you. And you're going to disagree with this finally and say something. And guess what? It's going to be too late. And they're going to take this, and they're going to take this, and they're going to take this. And this is exactly those breadcrumbs that get us to a new world order, get us to a Revelation 13 society. It's already it's happening. And I'm just trying to just open your ears, open your eyes, and open your heart by the Holy Spirit alone, and just praying that you'll hear me, that there's huge implications about what's going on. And these are crimes against humanity. I mean, I don't know if this isn't, then I don't know what is. Okay, sorry, let's finish up. It says here, for example, behavioral psychologists in the UK worked with the state to deliberately exaggerate the threat of the C word via unethical and totalitarian methods of propaganda in order to terrify the public into mass compliance. And it worked. A survey conducted after the first lockdown found that an average Brit thought 100 times more people had died from the C word than the official death toll. 100 times more. I can't even, if that's in Italy or if that's in the UK, right? What makes you think it didn't happen here in the land of the free? And just 100 times more. I'm so adamant about this and so passionate about it because I have been not necessarily ridiculed a lot, But I've had the same people say something, and I've had plenty of comments that have totally tried to just reject everything I'm saying by every person under the sun, even if they're a believer. It doesn't matter, even if they would disagree. And the fact is that you have people who have been lied to. And who knows if they hadn't been fed all of this, right? This I'm not going to say the word. There's a bug. Maybe they would have made a different choice. Maybe they would have believed something else. Maybe they would have waited longer. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's millions of people now who have this and don't know the long-term side effects. And millions of people who have gotten this and have experienced side effects that have been fatal, taken their lives. Excuse me, not millions, at least tens of thousands. I know that for sure. I don't want to misspeak here. And it's all recorded on the VAERS website. And I've covered article after article after article. I save them just so I can have them to go back and go over one day and just look and go like, wow, how did this happen? It's the wickedness of people's hearts, sin, power, authority, this need to rule, to be a God and to rule over people. We're seeing it right now. This is crazy. Let's finish. It says here, now we come to understand that now we come to understand that the official killed by C-word and not with C-word figure is less than 1/10 what is officially reported at the total death toll of the C-word. Despite the change, Italy may yet take the decision to make the C-word this mandatory, although how such a scheme would be imposed remains unspecified. I am just floored by how this isn't mainstream news. Like, what you're being fed, you need to know if it's good to digest or not. And I am here to try to do that and to alert your spirit and to get your eyes and your ears and your heart open and go, okay. And I get it. People, if I had taken this, I don't want to believe that I took something that was bad. I agree. I don't even want to think about it. But that's not my job. My job here is that I am here to present facts. I'm here to present a theory. I'm here to present Bible prophecy, because those are always facts. That's factual about how these little parts fit into what's already been spoken between the beginning and the end and how we get to certain spaces and how that happens. So I'm just trying to piece the puzzle together. And so, yeah, obviously you can check out the article, save it, you go read it, and then tell me what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you find out anything else. I came across this morning as I was reviewing some websites like I always do, and this came up and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is crazy. And I can't believe this isn't mainstream media. This isn't main news for everybody on everybody's feed. How crazy. And so, yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next video.